are the causes for the upper GI bleed in a patient with a liver disease. Okay, so I am sticking to this coagulopathy. What are the other conditions you can get coagulopathy apart from the whatever the chronic liver disease causing problems? What else can cause? Any acute problems? Coagulopathy? Aparna? Somebody coming and going away? Yes.
Disseminated intravascular.
Somebody should talk.
And DIC. This disseminated intravascular coagulation.
இல்ல ரொம்ப என்ன சொல்றதுமா என் பாயிண்ட் தான் பேசுறீங்க காமன் திங்ஸ்மா ஒரு டெங்கில வராதா ப்ளீடிங்
Yes.
டெண்டன்சி வருமா வராதா
It does not.
Yes. So think of the infections, okay? So what is liver cell failure? Causes of the fulminant liver cell failure you should think of. Okay? So
Yes, ma'am.
like infections, what I said about the dengue, or even with the, what is it? Wheals disease. What is Wheals disease? Leptospirosis. Okay.
Leptospirosis.
Yeah, they can. And யாரோடதுமா ஒரே சத்தம் யாருக்கும் டாக் இருக்கா என்ன அனந்தராஜ் வீட்ல தான் இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் ரைட் so apart from that should think of the drug induced causes anticoagulants okay then third thing is actually so the toxins in the form of the paracetamol poisoning rat killer poisoning so these are some of the things that cause the acute liver cell failure ending up in the coagulopathy, in the bleeding also. So what is basically what is the components of the fulminant liver failure? When will you say fulminant liver failure?
When there are signs of liver cell failure and portal hypertension. No, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Portal hypertension is a patient chronic problem. We are talking about acute, hyperacute problems.
The absence of any
Within 28
pre-existing
days, ma'am.
Within how many weeks the patient should have problems and what are all the components they should have to fulfill the criteria for the fulminant liver failure?
Within 4 weeks, ma'am.
Dinesh, yes, 4 weeks, yes,
Within
4 to 6 weeks.
And you should have jaundice, ma'am.
Excellent. So they should have the jaundice, right? Then encephalopathy and coagulopathy. You get the point?
Yes.
So
Okay.
a patient within 4 to 6 weeks, okay, having hyperbilirubinemia, otherwise jaundice, with the coagulopathy and altered sensorium, which is called encephalopathy, which is called the fulminant liver failure. Okay, the causes will be apart from your what to say the toxins in the form of the paracetamol poisoning or the rat killer poisoning. Okay, rat killer, that is phosphorus, yellow phosphorus. What are the infections which can cause the liver cell failure?
CMV, ma'am.
என்னமா
Cytomegalovirus. Cytomegalovirus.
இப்போ எத்தனை cytomegalovirus பார்த்திருக்கேன் தினேஷ்?
hepatitis. Hepatitis.
A, hepatitis
B.
E, ma'am.
B.
E in pregnant women.
E.
ma'am.
Hepatitis A and E. A also can cause, okay? And E, very commonly in the pregnancy, okay? So, when you know this, not getting fixed with only cirrhosis, portal hypertension. Okay, read about that also. Very, very important. And so, know about the how you go for the coronavirus thing. Same way, dengue should not be forgotten regarding the bleeding manifestations and all. So please remember, dengue patients also can have jaundice. Okay, jaundice with a bleeding manifestation. So don't think, and they can also have ascites. So don't think all the patients are, termed as a cirrhotic patient. Okay, so whether it's an acute or some patients with the underlying liver disease can have the precipitating factors with the infection like dengue also. So think of all possibilities. You list what are all the problems patient can have, and what is the system affected, what could be the provisional diagnosis. With that idea, you should go ahead and start the examination. That will be the better way. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear or still confused?
Clear, ma'am.
Aarti? Aarti? Who's Aarti?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have to say that yes, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Go ahead, Anantaraj.
I muted him, ma'am, actually, when there was disturbance before.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Release them.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Enna Chaneshwara?
Ma'am,
yes.
he's thinking. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, can you hear?
Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. General examination.
Hmm.
Patient was conscious, irritable, oriented to time, place, and person, moderately built and tarish, pallor and icterus present, pitting type of edema present on both the lower limbs, no cyanosis, clubbing, generalized lymphedemopathy.
Hmm.
Then head to foot examination. Yes.
Very good.
Can I continue?
Yeah. Go ahead, Anantaraj. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Head to foot examination. No alopecia, icterus and pallor present, no signs of vitamin A deficiency, no glossitis and angular stomatitis, spider nevi present, 6 on chest, and no gynecomastia. Palmar erythema is present. Dilated veins are not seen on the abdomen. No testicular atrophy. Bilateral pitting pedal edema on the lower limbs.
What about the hands?
And palmar erythema was present.
Then what else not there? What are the things? What are the signs of the chronic liver disease?
Leukonychia.
Very good. Leukonychia. Then
Dupuytren contraction, ma'am.
very good. So Dupuytren's contractures. Very good. Yes. Somebody said clubbing. Okay. Then palmar erythema. Yes. Then
This yellowish discoloration of palms.
anymore?
Yellowish discoloration of palms, ma'am. Icterus.
So not clear. Very clear.
Icterus, ma'am.
Icterus. Okay. Icterus. You are not looking in the palms unless otherwise it is very severe. Okay. Yes. Okay. Very good. So okay. What is the differential diagnosis for the yellowish discoloration of the palms?
It can be due to turmeric, ma'am.
That is a very good. Excellent. Then what else?
Hypercarotenemia, ma'am.
Carotenemia. Very good. Very good. So patient having hypercarotenemia is one of the differential diagnoses. Okay. Right. Yes. So head to foot examination, excellent. But you should be talking about whether there is any parotid enlargement, spider nemi. Yeah, all these things should be there. Okay. Vitamin A deficiency, okay. You should look for, but only the signs of the chronic liver disease, concentrate on that. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yes. Then
Then
so what, by the way, what are the signs?
Okay.
Alcoholic liver disease in that. Any specific signs for the alcoholic liver disease? Whatever you mentioned in the head to foot, it is there, but you segregate. What are the signs of the alcohol, chronic alcohol intake?
Parotid enlargement. Gynecomastia.
Very good, gynecomastia. Before that, gynecomastia is not the alcoholic per se. It is basically because of estrogen, hyperestrogenemia. What is specific for alcohol? Alcoholic cirrhosis. Yes. Parotid enlargement, Dupuytren's contracture,
Parotid.
very specific, right? Your gynecomastia, testicular atrophy. This is especially for the estrogen, increase in estrogen, decrease your testosterone and the hyperestrogenemia. Okay, and also the paucity of the air, the scarce axillary hair. That is also one of the reason for one of the manifestation of the hyperestrogenemia. Okay.
Okay.
Clear? Yes. Then. Okay. By the way, you said about the irritability of the patient. Why is irritable? What do you think the patient is having? Why is irritable?
It might be because of the possible encephalopathy, ma'am.
Might be due to?
There might be some grade 1 encephalopathy.
Yeah. So this is giving a clue. This patient must be having hepatic encephalopathy. Okay. So what history you should have asked for the patient?
Altered sleep pattern.
Exactly. Very good, Anup. So altered sleep pattern history you must be asking for. So these are all small clues will be there. Okay. So we have to pick up. Yes. Very good. Yes. Go ahead. And somebody, you said moderately built.
Yes.
So usually the characteristic picture is paucity above, prosperity below. So these patients, because of any chronic liver disease, there is no muscle mass. Protein metabolism is low. Already albumin is low. So because they are volume loaded doesn't mean the patient they are moderately built. Do you get the point, Anantaraj?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it should be very clear in saying that moderately built.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. So you should be applying your pediatrics assessment of the nutritional assessment also. Okay. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. And then vitals.
Very good.
Temperature 98.3
Yes,
Fahrenheit.
one more, just 1 second. This patient is having icterus, isn't it? What color of the jaundice? What color the eyes are?
And yellow.
Yellow or orangish yellow or greenish? And what else? What else in the body you should look for? What are the causes for jaundice?
It could be hemolytic, pre-hepatic causes, this hepatic causes, and post-hepatic causes, ma'am. Pre-hepatic causes, hepatic causes, and post-hepatic.
Cause of jaundice, first thing is?
Hemolytic jaundice. Pre-hepatic is hemolytic jaundice.
Hepatic, post-hepatic. Hemolytic jaundice. Second?
Second, hepatocellular jaundice, ma'am, due to hepatocellular damage.
Very good. Hepatocellular jaundice. Third?
Obstructive jaundice, due to any obstruction in the biliary system.
Obstructive jaundice or cholestatic jaundice.
Cholestatic.
Excellent. So if the patient is having cholestatic jaundice, what else you look for in the patient and the clinic general examination?
Scratch marks.
Scratch marks, exactly. So because of accumulation of the bile pigments, okay, bile salts, the patient will be having itching. So scratch marks will be there. Look for any excoriation over the back and the front. Okay, very important, right? So the hepatocellular jaundice and obstructive jaundice more of orangish yellow. Okay, the patient will having lemon yellow. Okay, lime is green, isn't it? So green yellow is, where do you get green yellow jaundice? What is biliverdin? Where do you get biliverdin?
Cholestatic jaundice.
So where the patient can have, yes, cholestatic jaundice. They can have the lime yellow jaundice. They can have. Okay. So this is not 100%, but it is a 90% you should look for this. These could be the possibility. Okay. So whenever patient having, scratch marks and of course, if they're not taken bath also, they can have the scratch marks. That is different. But typically you should look for this. Okay. So whether they have, and one more thing is in primary biliary cirrhosis, where one of the causes for the cirrhosis. Okay. So which is very common in females. The jaundice is preceded by scratching, itching. Okay, first itching, then only they'll develop jaundice. It's very common presentation with the primary biliary cirrhosis. So small things you have to look for it. Yes. Okay, good. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Vitals.
Anandraj.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Anandraj, you should prepare more. Okay. How many abdomen classes you attended, you guys? More than a week, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So go through again and again, study again and again, then only it will be easy. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Can I proceed?
Yes, proceed, ma'am. Yes.
Vitals. Temperature 98.3 Fahrenheit. Pulse rate 78 per minute. Regular rhythm. Normal character and volume. No delays. BP 100/70 mmHg. Measured in right upper limb in sitting position. Respiratory rate 20 breaths per minute. Abdominothoracic. And partial pressure of SpO2 97% room air. JVP not elevated.
Okay, why should you look for JVP?
For cardiac causes.
Cardiac causes, separate cardiac causes, or what does it? How is it related to your abdomen, hepatobiliary system?
And constrictive pericarditis
Congestion.
cause for post-hepatic.
The constrictive pericarditis. Okay, before that,
Congestive cardiac failure can lead to
congestive heart failure person. Okay,
Congestive heart-
long-standing congestive heart failure. Patient can have the cirrhosis.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's one of the reason. And second thing is a constrictive pericarditis. Very good. Yes, good. So,
Ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear us? Ma'am?
so some got disconnected. Sorry.
No problem.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you, ma'am.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Small disturbance in between. Okay. Go ahead, ma. Where is Anandraj? Anandraj, I could not see him.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Continue, Anandraj. Sorry, some disturbance in between.
Okay, no problem. Examination of oral cavity. Lips appear normal with no evidence of cracks, fissure, or scars. Tongue appears normal. Teeth with multiple caries. No ulcer patches on the palate or mucosa.
Okay. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Inspection of abdomen.
Importance of the mouth. I know there are so many reasons. One is a Crohn's disease. where they can have the what happens in Crohn's disease in the tongue?
Aphthous ulcer.
Yes. Yes, ma. Go ahead, Anu. Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, aphthous ulcer.
Pardon?
Aphthous ulcer. Ulcers, ma'am. Aphthous ulcer. Hello.
Sattama, clear. Should be clear. Yes.
One.
Ma'am, he said after ulcers.
Okay, ma. Okay. Yes. Then Anantaraj, yes.
Okay, ma'am. Inspection of abdomen. Uniformly distended. Flanks are full.
Very good.
Umbilical hernia present. No cough impulse. Not reducible.
Yes. Yes.
Not assumed with pain and.
So you want to play that picture? Just show the picture.
Yes.
So everybody saw that, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'll show it right now, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, a minute, ma'am. I'll try sharing the screen again.
Okay. Okay. So describe the abdomen, Anantaraj.
Yes, ma'am. Uniformly distended. Flanks are full.
Very good. Yes.
Umbilical hernia present. No
And
cough
what is
impulse.
happening to the upper segment? Yeah, upper segment also looks more than the lower segment, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Then, yes.
And umbilical hernia present.
So, yes, very
No
good. You
cough
can see
impulse.
the umbilical hernia
Yeah.
because of that
Yes.
ascites. Yes.
No cough impulse. Not reducible. Not associated with pain and tenderness. Ulceration over
Okay.
skin. Irreducible umbilical hernia.
Yes, okay. Forget about the umbilical hernia. That will be
Okay.
in the surgery. Something else. Yes. We go for our medicine. Yes.
Okay. All abdominal quadrants move equally with respiration.
Very
Skin
good.
appears stretched and tiny. Discoloration
Okay.
of skin seen over left iliac region.
Yeah. What is it
No,
due to? What is the discoloration? Is it red or something? Can it be ecchymosis? So, what is ecchymosis?
Bruising.
What is ecchymosis?
Bruising, ma'am.
Yeah, bruising. Okay, at the site of any, even a cannulation or injection. Okay, so you can see the extravasation of the blood into the skin. Okay, confluent lesions. So, which is called ecchymosis. So, patient must be having coagulopathy also. It's all small, hints saying the patient having complications. Right? Yes.
Then no engorged veins, no visible pulsations or peristalsis. External
Okay.
genitalia appears normal. Hernial orifice appears normal. Presacral edema is not present.
Hernial orifices. இப்போ தானே umbilical hernia ன்னு ஏன்பா ஒரு hernia பத்தாதப்பா நிறைய hernia வேணுமா உங்களுக்கு it's four tense. Yes, got umbilical hernia. Okay, right. Yes, then
Presacral edema is not present.
okay, if the patient is bedridden, okay, what else you examine for? What are the other sites you look for and what do you look for?
Sacral edema will be.
Yeah, so you should examine the back also. Okay, so mention about the renal angle and then about the sacral region, whether they have the edema. Okay, it's very important. Don't miss it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Palpation.
Mm-hmm.
On superficial palpation, abdomen not warm or tender, no abdominal rigidity. On deep
Where do you
palpation,
start
no.
your examination? Anyway, for the palpation, which area you start first? From where to start and where to end?
Lower
zone. There are
right
9 segments, not 10 segments, but excluding the genitalia, we are saying 9 segments. Where do you start?
Yes, right iliac region.
Okay, actually the book says left iliac fossa, but you can start at the right iliac fossa and go go up around the thing, come up to the suprapubic region. Okay, right? Yes.
From deep palpation, no palpable muscles.
Deep palpation possible in this patient. What else you should have tried? You said patient the skin looks stretched and shiny, uniformly is distended. What other maneuvers you should have got into? What are the other methods you adopt for palpating this patient?
Dipping method.
Anybody? It's dipping method, isn't it? This is going to be tough. You look, it is like a big pot, isn't it? It's going to be very difficult to do the routine palpation, deep palpation. So you should adopt it. Okay? Yes. Right, but there is no organomegaly. Right. Yes.
And then percussion.
Right, yes. There is, okay, percussion, yes.
Liver. Upper border of the liver dullness is percussed at the right 5th intercostal space along the mid-clavicular line, and lower border is not palpable.
Yes.
And then spleen. Castell's method, dullness observed at 9th intercostal space of an anterior axillary line, and by Nixon's method, spleen extends 10 centimeter above the left costal margin. Shifting dullness is not
your
present.
drop space is, what is happening to the drop space?
Dull to percussion.
Dull to, okay, right, yes.
Then fluid thrill is appreciated.
You did that Nixon method also, okay, right, yes. Then?
Shifting dullness is not present. Fluid thrill is appreciated.
Enema?
Fluid thrill appreciated, man.
Fluid thrill appreciated. Yes, very good. You could not do the shifting dullness. Why? Why you could not do the shifting dullness in this patient?
Tense ascites,
massive ascites.
Shift. Massive ascites.
Yeah, it's a tense ascites, ma. So the amount of fluid to shift, to elicit the shifting dullness is less compared to the fluid thrill. For fluid thrill, how much fluid you need in the peritoneal cavity? Ascitic fluid? Minimum?
2 liters.
2 liters, exactly. So for the shifting dullness, 1 liter is enough. Okay, so this patient have the tense ascites causing such a huge umbilical hernia. So it is what you can do only is a fluid thrill. Exactly. So please run the video more for the fluid thrill. Why that person is keeping his hand on the midline? Somebody is keeping, third hand is there in the midline. Why?
To prevent transmission of impulse from the subcutaneous tissue.
Yeah, it is through the fat. It's through the subcutaneous fat. We don't want the fluid wave to be, conducted. Okay, so dampen that impulse conducted through the fat, subcutaneous fat. So we want only that the impulse should travel through the peritoneal cavity alone. That should be appreciated. Okay, so that is the reason for that. Very good, Chandra. Yes, then.
And then auscultation,
Mm.
vowel sounds present, no venous hum or bruit.
Mm.
And examination of other systems, CNS,
What
conscious,
is you look for?
irritable,
No, vowel sounds heard, right? What else you look? What else you have to auscultate for?
and venous hum or bruit.
Venus come. Where do you hear the Venus come? Where do you look for Venus come? What are the
Between
sites
Zipis
you look for
and
Venus come in abdomen?
Xiphisternum, sternum, and umbilicus between.
Yeah, epigastric region. Okay. Yes. Then
Then bruit,
yes.
over
Where
the
do you,
aorta,
where do you look for Brui?
over the aorta,
Both iota. Both iota. Va. Enna iota? Rendu iota
over,
ka.
yeah, ma'am.
Over the
aorta.
iota. Ah, okay. Over the iota. Then over the iota
liver
na perivascular disease la போய்டும்ல.
Femoral artery,
Then we are talking about cardiovascular system. We are here talking about the abdomen.
liver hemangioma, ma'am. Hemangioma. Liver.
Okay, so over the liver, very good,
Mm.
exactly. Then over the spleen, then over the renal artery. Okay, these are the sites you look for the bruit. Okay, apart from that iota, if you hear, I'm not saying you should not, but again, okay, for this abdomen system, you should look for this. Okay, right. Then any rub. So do you need to look for rub and which site? Hepatitis. Okay, how we have the plural rub, even the hepatic rub is there. Rub, venous, the venous hum, and then the bruit. These are the additional sounds you have to look for apart from the vowel sounds. Okay, what does barbar mean? What is
Increased
barbar?
vowel sounds, ma'am.
Finish?
Increased vowel sounds, ma'am.
Yes. Is a high pitch or low pitch? And where do you hear? Which condition?
Obstruction, intestinal obstruction.
Intestinal obstruction, where you hear the high-pitched vowel sounds. Okay, so that's very common thing. Yes. Then where do you get absence of vowel sounds?
Paralytic ileus.
Paralytic ileus. Okay. Right. What could be the reason for the paralytic ileus in this patient? Which is, it could be easily treatable.
The hyperbilirubinemia.
Hypokalemia.
Hypokalemia, exactly, very good. So though they are on the spironolactone, okay, spironolactone is a potassium sparing. But if they are on the large doses of the diuretics, furosemide, okay, they can go for the hypokalemia, and which can cause the, the paralytic ileus could be treated, and also it can precipitate. What else it can precipitate? Hypokalemia or constipation.
Cardiac.
Cardiac arrhythmia is different. Still we are in the abdomen. Constipation is a risk factor for what?
Hepatic encephalopathy, ma'am.
Very good. Hepatic encephalopathy. Okay, see how it is interconnected. Just look at that. Okay, hepatic encephalopathy, precipitating factors. One of the precipitating factors is electrolyte imbalance. Okay, apart from our infection, surgeries, stress, all your UGA bleed, high protein intake. Because if I ask questions, it will take time. That's why I am answering now. Okay, just one small question. So what surgical procedure can precipitate hepatic encephalopathy?
Tips.
Tips, ma'am.
Huh?
Tips.
Tips. Very good. What is tips?
Intrajugular portohepatic systemic shunt.
Very good. So transjugular intrahepatic portosystemic shunt. Okay, where the all these toxins can travel just across to the portal, to the systemic circulation, to the brain, which can cause the hepatic encephalopathy. Very good. So TIPS is done for which procedure? Why it is done? For what reason?
For portal hypertension.
Very good. Yes, good. Right, ma. Okay. So what are the other systems you are examining, Anandaraj? What do you look for in respiratory system?
Hello?
Respiratory system, what do you look for, Anantaraj?
Breath sounds.
Very good. Why? Are you there, Anandaraj?
Yes, ma'am.
Why you look for the breath sounds? What's the reason?
Hepatopulmonary syndrome.
Pardon?
Hepatopulmonary syndrome.
Hepatopulmonary syndrome. Common things are common.
Ma'am, there
Tell me
can
the
be
kind of-
associated pleural effusion, ma'am.
Exactly. So they can have the hydrothorax. Okay, hydrothorax, because of the tense ascites, the fluid can permeate. Ascitic fluid can permeate into the pleural space. It can cause hydrothorax. Okay, right sided. You do look for the diminished breath sounds on the right side. Things are common, and then you think of the hepato. I have not seen any hepatopulmonary syndrome so far, but I have seen hydrothorax.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
right. CVS.
Apical impulse.
Mm.
Apical impulse is felt at the fifth intercostal space in the mid-clavicular line. S1 and S2 here, no murmurs.
So what murmur you look for again? Specifically, what murmur you look for? Anybody?
Murmur of tricuspid regurgitation, maybe, ma'am.
Super. So what murmur it is?
Pansystolic murmur, ma'am.
Very good. So it's a systolic murmur. So pansystolic murmur of the tricuspid regurgitation is a thing commonly you look for. Okay, because that is the cause the increased venous return. Okay, so JVP is going to be elevated, your liver is going to be loaded. Okay, all congestion everywhere, pedal edema, all right heart failure. So the patient will enormous right heart failure signs will be there with the TR, tricuspid regurgitation. Okay, look for that. And again for the constrictive pericarditis, what do you get in constrictive pericarditis?
Pericardial shudder.
Pericardial.
Pericardial?
Knock.
Pericardial knock. Okay, so pericardial knock you can get, and the heart sounds will be very distant, it will be muffled. You can't hear the heart sounds at all. It will be very what to say, soft, very difficult to appreciate. Right, that is very characteristic. Excellent. Okay, what's the diagnosis, Mo? So what else you get in the CNS anyway?
CNS flapping tremor was present, ma'am.
Okay, how do you elicit the flapping tremor, Mo? Show that. What is flapping tremor? So describe that, Anantaraj.
Okay.
What is it, Ma? What is that?
And,
Yes. Anybody quickly? Anantaraj? Mm. Definition, Ma. You should know something there. Cholungappa.
Ma'am, it's a coarse tremor of the hands.
Coarse tremor, no, then you have the alcoholic withdrawal tremor.
Okay.
It's not a tremor. Mm.
It's asterixis, ma'am, the other name, and this to and fro flapping of the hands.
No, it's not to and fro flapping tremor at all. It is wrong. Anybody? So he's unable to maintain the posture of the outstretched hands. Okay, so they don't have the tremors at all actually. So they cannot maintain the posture, the outstretched hands. Okay, that's what it's shown. Okay, so whenever they are trying to put the hands straight, okay, so they cannot see. You can see that, doesn't it? They cannot maintain that. It just fall forward. They cannot maintain the posture. That's all. It is not no tremor at all. Yes, the tremors are various causes. Other causes are there.
ma'am.
Yes. Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Anantaraj, yes. Little more faster, pa. You should be yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, we cannot finish. Mm.
And then provisional diagnosis.
Right.
A diagnosis for the patient is decompensated liver disease, probably cirrhosis of liver with features of portal hypertension and hepatic encephalopathy due to chronic alcohol consumption.
Why he has a portal hypertension? Why you say the patient has portal hypertension?
So due to ascites, melena
Ascites,
also present.
okay. Melena. Then what else? Because the melena history and all won't be given, isn't it? It's an examination of the patient.
Yes.
So by examination, what are the points in favor of the portal hypertension?
Splenomegaly.
Yes, so patient has got splenomegaly. Okay, ascites not always due to the portal hypertension. What are the causes for the portal hypertension, the ascites in a liver disease patient?
Hypoproteinemia, ma'am.
Before that, one is the portal hypertension, agreed. What is the second point? Second most cause of the ascites in liver disease.
Ma'am, hypoproteinemia.
What else? What is the other thing?
Increased
What does
hydrostatic
nitric
pressure.
oxide do with? See, I haven't read the theory at all. What is splanchnic vasodilatation, ma? What is it due to?
Nitric oxide, ma'am.
So one is the first and foremost causes portal hypertension, and second is a splanchnic vasodilatation. Okay, due to the nitrous oxide. Then only third is your hypoproteinemia. Okay, so all these cause what? Because of this, what will happen? Stimulates.
This exudation and transudation into peritoneal cavity, ma'am.
ரொம்ப ஷார்ட்கட் அடிக்கிறீங்களேம்மா. அசைட்டிஸ் படிச்சீங்களா புக்ல? டேவிட்சன் அசைட்டிஸ். So which is causing the decreased intravascular volume, your portal hypertension, splanchnic vasodilatation, okay, which cause a decreased intravascular volume, which is stimulating your RAS, renin-angiotensin aldosterone. Okay, because of that you have aldosterone, you have the salt retention, and because of salt you have the water retention. Okay, then only your hypoproteinemia, then your lymphatic imbalance, all those things. Okay, why this is very, very important is for the treatment point. So how do you manage ascites based on these factors?
Spironolactone can be given, ma'am.
That is last. Adhik munadi
Salt and
restriction.
fluid restriction.
And water restriction.
for the portal hypertension, what is the management? Salt and water restriction, agreed, ma. For the portal hypertension, because we said foremost salt is a portal hypertension. No, what is that?
Cessation of alcohol.
Huh?
Cessation of alcohol.
Cessation of the alcohol a long back should have been done, ma. That is only precipitating the factors. What else? Beta blockers, forgotten, is it? Is it right
Yes,
or wrong?
ma'am.
Yes. So for the portal hypertension, treatment is propranolol. Okay, and then as you say, patient for the salt retention and your sodium and water, sodium reabsorption and the water retention restriction first, and then your aldactone. So each step has got it's a self-explanatory for the treatment we are giving. Okay.
Yes,
What is
ma'am.
refractory ascites? What is the maximum dose of the drugs we can give? Apart from aldactone, what else? What are the other diuretic we can give?
Furosemide.
Furosemide, yes. What is the maximum dose we can go ahead for both the diuretics?
400 mg of spironolactone, ma'am, and 160 mg of furosemide.
Excellent. Okay. So in spite of this increased step of the diuretics, patient ascites is not controlled. What are the other maneuvers we can do? Because with the tense
Levine shunt,
ascites, patient can have breathlessness. So what else we can do?
Levine shunt, ma'am.
So you are going to be a surgeon. Before that, medicine. What is
Paracentesis.
paracentesis?
Paracentesis.
Ascitic tap, ma'am.
Ascitic tap. Okay. Apart from diagnostic tap, this is a therapeutic tap we can do. Only thing is we have to replace it with
Albumin.
excellent. So salt poor albumin we have to give. Okay. So these things you should be aware because it's a routine thing we do in the hospital. Okay, the paracentesis. Then only they go for any shunt or the transplant, that is different. So refractory ascites. So in spite of your medical measures and the restriction of the salt and the water, patient continue to have the ascites, then it is going to be refractory, and the treatment is either the stepping of if not done earlier, and the second of the medicines, and second thing is a large volume paracentesis, and third thing is a surgical procedure you can go for. Okay, so you should know the other methods, what else we can do to the patient. Yes. Okay, so what are the causes for cirrhosis? Okay, one more thing. Sorry, Anantaraj, complete the diagnosis.
Yes, ma'am. Diagnosis I said, ma'am.
Decompensated liver disease with the portal hypertension.
Yes, ma'am.
Then
And hepatic encephalopathy due to
very good.
chronic
Third.
alcohol consumption.
இல்ல மூணாவது இன்னும் 4. Is there any coagulopathy?
No, ma'am.
No. Then what is your some discoloration over the abdomen? So you have to search for okay, again the melena we were saying, this is the upper GI bleed, not only due to the portal hypertension. We have to look for the other causes. Okay, we never know.
Okay.
Right? So you have to look for you have to rule out, have a doubt. Then what are the other complications they can have? What are the complications otherwise of the
Ma'am,
cirrhosis?
spontaneous bacterial peritonitis.
Very good. Spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. Then ascites per se without portal hypertension. Okay, don't miss that. Then
Hepatocellular carcinoma and long-standing cases.
yeah, that is long standing. Very good. Yes. Before that,
Hepatorenal syndrome.
very good. Then hepatopulmonary syndrome, hepatorenal syndrome. Okay, so at least some eight the complications for the chronic liver disease. Okay, always don't miss that one. Yes. Okay, what are the causes for what are the investigation you do for this patient?
Investigation,
Tell me
TBC,
the
viral
causes,
markers.
then go for the thing investigation. Causes for the cirrhosis.
Ma'am, it could be infection due to infection with hepatitis B and C viruses.
So it is a post-infective B and C.
Yes,
Should
ma'am.
be very specific. Okay. So due to infection, acute infection, okay. Post-infective, right? Yes. Of hepatitis B and C. Then
Primary biliary cirrhosis.
first common 3 things. Then only you should go for the biliary causes and all.
NASH, ma'am.
NASH, very good. Non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. So then third is
alcohol mediated.
alcohol. So one is alcohol, other is a non-alcoholic. Okay, the post-hepatitis equally, and then alcoholic, non-alcoholic. These 3 things could be first. Then you talk about all your biliary causes and metabolic causes, all these things. Yes. Now tell me the other causes quickly.
Wilson's disease.
Wilson's disease. So metabolic causes. Wilson's disease. Yes.
Hemochromatosis.
Very good. Hemochromatosis. Then quicker.
Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency.
Very good. Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Super. Yes. எல்லாரும் ஒரு பிரேக் டக்கு டக்குன்னு சொல்லுங்கம்மா. Yes.
Autoimmune hepatitis. Autoimmune
hepatitis. Yes. Then Chikno. Somebody started with the
Drugs
Kolankai.
and toxins, ma'am.
Huh?
Drugs and toxins.
Drugs and toxins. Yes. What are the drugs and what is a toxin?
Amiodarone and methotrexate.
Amiodarone, methotrexate. Very good. அவ்வளவுதான் ரெண்டு தான் புக்ல கொடுத்திருக்கா சரி ஓகே தென்
Aflatoxin of Aspergillus flavus can cause.
Yeah, but that will cause a fulminant liver failure, acute liver cell failure. Okay, that won't
Mushroom
cause
poisoning, ma'am.
again. So aflatoxin, mushroom, same. Okay, so that will cause the acute liver cell failure, right? Yes. Somebody started with the primary biliary cirrhosis quickly. Primary
Ma'am, you're not clear, ma'am.
right then.
Ma'am,
Am I audible?
yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
I think some net.
Yes, ma'am, actually, there's some net connectivity issues.
Goes smoothly sometimes.
Ma'am, could you try rejoining, ma'am? Ma'am, the audio is breaking. Could you try rejoining, ma'am?
I didn't play but when we reach hello.
Yes, ma'am. We can see you now.
Yeah,
We can hear
sorry,
you.
ma'am, sorry.
Yes,
Okay, continue. Yeah. So what we could do now, it's getting late, isn't it, for the next class, right? I think we covered almost all the, the presentation for the abdomen. What you have to do is go into the investigation and management for the each complications, okay? First thing is to establish the diagnosis for the cirrhosis, okay? And then second thing for the complications, and third thing etiology. So investigation towards that and management for the each complication, right? So okay, just with one question I will stop. If the patient has got you see, he has got jaundice, isn't it? So forget about whether the patient is having cirrhosis or not. So what investigation will you do for the active hepatitis B? Just one small question. Anantaraj.
HPSAG reduction.
Very good. So first thing is HPSAG positive. Okay. If it is positive, so what are the tests you will do to confirm this is the active infection going on?
IgM level.
IgM of what?
IgM against hepatitis B.
IgM anti-HBC antigen.
Very good. For
IgM
the core
anti-HBC.
antigen, listen, it should be very specific. HBC, anti-HBC, IgM. And then second, to know the load, what do you do?
HBV DNA count.
Exactly. So hepatitis B virus DNA. Okay. So we cannot complete everything. I'm just asking you bits and pieces there and then and there. Okay. So read very carefully. So not talking about unusual causes. So cytomegalovirus and all common condition where you get in the transplant, post-transplant. We don't get routinely. Okay. So read of the common things first and read for the treatment. Okay. So thank you very much for joining us. Okay.
Thank you very much,
See you soon. Hopefully August, when it is opening, but I don't know. August probably. Okay. Hoping to see you guys in person. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
சொல்லிட்டாங்க. இது எத்தனை நாளைக்கு இப்படியே ஓடிட்டு இருக்கு?